Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Friends. My name is Cody Leach, and as always, I'm joined by Christian Garcia. What up, man?
I was doing the Dawson dance, and it's because Cody, like, every time we record, he does, like, he has to do 3 claps to like, sync.
Clap, clap.
And it just always reminds me of the Dawson.
Yeah.
Like, it's always, like, the wackiest.
Yeah, exactly. When he's being his most stereotypish. So big news in the Nerd with Friends world. We are now part of a new podcast network, Age of Radio.
Yes, sir.
So you may start to notice, who knows, if I set everything up right, you probably just got through an advertisement or two, either for another podcast or some delicious product, I'm sure. So yeah, it's a cool move for us. Thanks to Joey, who helped set everything up for that. It's cool to be part of a network where, other like-minded podcasters are working together to, increase their audience, learn and grow. They sell equipment and stuff, even though our equipment's pretty choice,
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited about joining.
I'm excited too. So, we will be taking little breaks, in between for a commercial break, but we appreciate you guys listening. If you're watching on YouTube, don't worry, you're still ad-free until YouTube decides that we're worth money.
Yeah.
So
We're getting there.
good on ya.
We're getting there.
We are getting there. We're currently recording this and not watching the vice presidential debate.
That's right.
But, that's not going to be as much fun as the regular presidential one, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't feel like we're really missing that much, but who knows? Maybe Pence stabs Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Who knows what happens?
It would be on brand with 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
I bet she's going to do
odds are he just violates her rights.
Yeah.
That's more his lane.
Yeah. He might fuck up and call her mother. Who knows?
Mommy.
Mother. Which to me, if you call your partner mother, you're fucking weird. All right. That's on.
Mother is weird, but like, hey, ma. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. But mother.
Mommy.
Yeah, mother.
Mama.
That's like you're definitely still breastfeeding from her or something.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Get out of here, phone call. Definitely a weird guy, that Mike Pence. But, honestly, he's a little bit more stable than Trump.
Yeah, but he's more like handsmaid fucking crazy, like Handmaid's Tale. Like,
oh, yeah.
That's the type of crazy. Like, he's like cool and collected on the outside, but on the inside, he's fucking nuts.
Yeah, on the inside, he wants like sex slaves and
for sure.
And like,
dude, the guy can't.
Cherish the fruit or whatever they say in that. It's been a while
he cannot be in another room alone with a woman. That's fucking insane.
That can be said for most of the Republican Party, I'd say.
It's like either like what you think you're so fucking attractive that this woman is not going to be able to control herself, or you have no fucking self-control and you're going to go fucking insane and do something stupid.
It's true. I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, it's the way she was dressed.
Silver fox you.
Yeah, exactly.
Women can't stay away from him.
But we got freaking political enough on the last episode. Thank you everyone for listening to that. Hopefully you're getting out there and voting. Make sure you go to vote.org if you have any questions on that. But let's get back to some nerd shit. And let's do some nerdy confessions where we confess the things that make us nerds. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
I can go first. So missed out.
I forgot what I was going to do.
I'm trying to watch new horror movies that I haven't seen this spooky Halloween season, which I always think it's weird when people call it spooky. Anyway, so
spooky season.
Saw Willow Creek, which is a film by Bobcat Goldthwait. I always forget how to say his name. Goldthwait. He did a mockumentary of a couple looking for Bigfoot. It's not that long. It's like an hour, 20 minutes. I really liked it. I don't think it's going to be for everyone. After watching it, I did a little bit of research. I'm like, shit, I missed something big, so I need to go back and rewatch it. But I enjoyed it. I wasn't scared by it. I could imagine maybe someone being scared by it, but I enjoyed it. You might like it.
Probably.
You usually hate everything.
Probably not. Though I do like Bobcat Goldthwait is actually a pretty good filmmaker, so it could be good, But your taste in movies, I just can't trust it anymore.
He's one of those guys that actually believes in Bigfoot. Like, he believes Sasquatch. He's
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, he's a weird enough dude where I can see that tracking for sure.
But it was good. Check it out. It's on Netflix. It's not too much time investment, an hour, 20 minutes.
My nerdy confession, I would say, I have a couple decent ones. I'm trying to think of which one would be the best one. I guess my nerdy confession this week is I'm really excited that Star Wars Squadrons came out, which is it's on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation 4, I believe, and it's also available in PlayStation VR and Oculus, so you can play it completely virtual. And it's essentially just a Star Wars, space dogfighting game where you can be either the Rebel Alliance or the Empire, and you can fly TIE fighters or X-Wings and A-Wings and all the various
For the
wings.
Oculus, I'm assuming it's the higher standard one, right? Not the lower end one.
It's definitely the full one for the computer,
Damn it.
not the Go or whatever.
I would have done it for that because I have the Go, whichever one it is.
Yeah, I have the little single controller one,
yes.
which definitely will not work on that. Yeah, that thing's only good for porn. Let's be real. I mean, it was, it's like the first thing that everyone does with a VR headset when they first get it.
I'm not even lying. I haven't.
Really? Well, you're wrong.
No, I'd fucking say it if I did. I haven't.
I'm not saying it's not true that you haven't used it. I'm just saying you're wrong for not.
Oh,
not
no. Now that seed has been planted, I'm definitely going to do it.
You're going to fucking plant that seed tonight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, anyone who says that they're not doing it is either, sus for sure, or or they're lying.
I just honestly, I've gotten, it was a zombie game where you're like in a saloon and you're just shooting like these zombies that are coming at you. I think I got it for free. That's been a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, and I did that in like a Japanese sex tour. No, because I knew because your mind was there. No, it was like a tour like where you can just kind of look around. Like someone was walking with, I guess, like a 3D.
Oh, okay.
And you get to walk in the Japanese crowd. That and a roller coaster.
Interesting.
The roller coaster was kind of fun, but it just never. I guess I didn't think you. What do you search? Like, how do you actually? Yeah, educate me and the fucking internet on how you search for porn with.
Well, I mean, there's websites that there's a list I can give you after the show for sure.
So do you have to go like Oculus VR porn?
You just Google VR porn and it'll pop up there. It's on Pornhub.
What?
Yeah, it's like a category.
What?
Yeah, and then a lot of times you'll either like tell it which headset you're doing, so you say Oculus Go or VR, HTC Vive or whatever it was called. But yeah, there's other websites out there where you can straight up like download things from. Not that I've tried it. I mean, I've read a couple articles on it.
Yeah,
did some research,
a report on it.
Had to do my due diligence. You know what I'm saying?
I had to make sure where it was so I wouldn't find it.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I knew what sites to avoid.
Exactly.
But back to Star Wars Squadrons. It is a really cool game. I will say, first of all, it's only $40, so don't get your hopes too high that you're getting like a really in-depth game. There is a story mode and a multiplayer mode, and in the multiplayer mode, there's like two different matches that you could do. There's dogfighting, which is just straight up PvP, fighting against other ships, and then there's fleet battle, where you fight against other ships, but you're also trying to take down capital ships, like the Star Destroyers or the I forget what the Rebel one's called, the Mon Calamari or whatever.
And I talked to you about this outside of the podcast. I haven't really played like an airplane or flying game that I can remember that was amazing since like maybe Star Fox on 64. Like that was probably the last one that I was obsessed about, and I can't really think of another one that.
Well, it's one of those things. I'm not a big like flight simulator. Like I never got any of the Ace Combats or anything like that. But I will say when it comes to Star Wars, it's really fun flying in like I like the A-Wing a lot. That's like one of my favorite ones.
Okay.
And because the controls are actually really in depth, which is really fun. Like you can really bank around or like do like a that move that Poe Dameron did where he like did the like power slide and spun around. You can do those, and then and do like barrel rolls and shit like that. Back to your Star Fox days.
Yeah,
do barrel roll. And then, but one thing that's really interesting about it is you can actually kind of manipulate the power of your ship. So you can say like, hey, I want to redirect power to my thrusters or my shields or my weapons. And depending on what you do, like if you do it to your weapons, yes, you can shoot down your enemy faster because your lasers hit harder and they recharge faster so you don't have to like...
But your shields are down.
But your shields are lower and you can't move as fast and that sort of thing. And then when you're doing the shields too, another cool thing about that is you can actually like redirect it towards the front or the back. So if you're getting chased by some dude and you can't shake him, you can move it towards the back so you're more heavily shielded back there. Or if you're making a bombing run onto a Star Destroyer, you can put it all towards the front so as you fly into it, you're better shielded.
All right.
So really in-depth controls. It looks amazing. Like the environments that you're flying around in, it's not just open space. There's always like a planet or an asteroid belt or some sort of nebula or something flying around you. So there's stuff to look at. And it looks great. The interiors of the cockpits look awesome. There's no microtransactions, which is really cool. At least not yet. Who knows what there could be. But you can like give your ship different paint jobs. You can get a little bobblehead to be in your cockpit as you fly or a little lucky dice or whatever.
Can I get a Baby Yoda?
I don't know if that's in there yet, but I'm sure it will be. I mean, they're going to cash in on that Baby Yoda any way they can. Maybe once The Mandalorian comes out, they'll release it in there. But yeah, $40, it's worth checking out for sure. It's definitely worth the money. And I think it's one of those games where if you like Star Wars, it's worth it just to like fly around and some weird sounds coming outside. If you like Star Wars, it's it's people spinning donuts is what it is.
Jesus.
Love San Francisco.
Even with the new studio.
Yeah, can't get away from it. But yeah, it's really fun. And like I'm not being a big flight sim guy, I didn't feel like there was a huge learning curve. But I have gotten better the more I've played it.
See, like it
does have a good story mode where you bounce on both sides, the Rebels and the
What
Empire.
threw me off was Battlefront. Battlefront had the aerial battles.
Sure.
That was not great. So I just figured,
that's like a game within a game,
Yeah, and I just figured, it's going to be more like that. But from what you've been saying, I'm like, okay, I'm more open to getting it.
I think it would be a really good game for VR because you can actually look around in the cockpit.
No, when you said Oculus, I'm like, shit, I have one. I'm like, I'll get it, but I figured it was going to be the higher end one.
Maybe PS5 will come out with the updated PlayStation VR kind of thing. And
when are we getting the update for Ghost of Tsushima? I feel the PlayStation's like right around the PlayStation 5 is right around the corner, and they said it was coming out before.
I think it's this month. I think it is in October. And they added more to it too. There's going to be a game mode plus.
Nice.
Where you can start back at the beginning of the game with all of your upgrades.
Okay.
And then you can unlock special, charms and like cosmetic items.
And forgive
me. That
me.
You can only get in the game mode plus.
I don't remember the name of the company, but good for you fucking guys for putting that out there for free. It's not something you have to buy. That's amazing.
Yeah. Sucker Punch is the
nice.
company. I mean, it's funny. I was talking with my friend Anthony, who the guy who called in the show. We were trying to pre-order the PS5, and he just finished it because I kept telling him like, dude, get this game, it's so awesome, and he did it, and it's like it's so crazy because that game, coming as late as it did with as little hype around it. Like there was hype, I
had no idea.
Like I said, I remember it was from E3 like 2 or 3 years ago. I remember the first little teaser trailer. I was like, fuck, that game's going to be awesome. But then it kind of died out and like we hadn't heard much about it. But I remember I'm like, dude, I'm getting that game once it comes out. And when it did, it's like, came out of nowhere kind of. It's one of those things like, oh shit, this game came out this week, and I went and grabbed it real quick, and it was just like, god damn, that game is so good. And and now they're doing the thing where the multiplayer expansion and the Game Mode Plus is a free update. So it's like why can't more game companies do that? You know,
because they want the money.
They want that money.
See, but I think a move like this guarantees, like, the next thing that Sucker Punch does, I'm gonna fucking buy
100%.
Because like of what this move is, like they've gained my trust. Don't fuck it up, But let's see what they do next.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think it's going to be definitely an awesome. Like I really enjoyed the Infamous stuff, which I think is what they also did. I think that was them, right?
Yes.
Or was the Infamous games, was that the company that did Spider-Man?
No. It was Infamous. Infamous 1 was good. I enjoyed 2 a lot more.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things where the first game that came out was like the trial. The first idea of like what could we do, and Infamous 2 is like, oh, they really polished it. Maybe the story wasn't as good. I'm trying to remember if I liked it or not.
It was in Seattle.
Yeah,
Native American.
It was still really good though. I remember.
I liked the story. His brother was
the superpowers were awesome.
Yeah, his brother was like a police officer. And he's trying to point his brother in the right direction.
Son. Oh, I was thinking of Second Son. That was the latest one. Man, they had some bangers, man.
Yeah,
Infamous 1 and 2 and Second Son, which I think is technically 3.
But that's the thing is that they take and that's fine. They take a long time.
Festival of Blood I never played. What's that one?
I don't know. They take a long time to put out a game, but once it comes out, it's great. I'm
just gonna look at this Festival of Blood Infamous game. Infamous Festival of Blood is a single-player game for download via PSM. Vampires swarm new Maurice. I'm already in. Cole McGrath has been bitten. Save his soul. Oh, dude, what the fuck?
That sounds like it took a fucking different turn.
When did this game come out? God, that seems fucking awesome. I'm gonna try to remember that for when I got it.
I'll remind you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna save it on a little tab here. Oh, it's a PS3 game. What the fuck? Crazy. Well, good job, Sucker Punch. You're still bringing me in. Alrighty. Well, that's the end of Nerdy Confession. So we're gonna take a quick break. And then after the break, we'll be back with the rest of the show. So here we go. Now, like for your YouTube video, like what is this?
I don't know.
We'll just put something in, or maybe you'll just see us talking now. That could be a fun thing.
Sure.
All right. Well, I guess now we'll come back. Here we go. And we're back.
That was a great ad.
Such a great ad.
It was so amazing.
It was so good.
That product.
I totally endorse that product.
Yes.
No matter what it is or who it's for.
Get it.
Get it and put it either on or in you.
Or consume or...
Either on or in.
Insert.
Or up.
Whichever.
So one thing we wanted to talk a little bit about today was HBO Max's show, Raised by Wolves. But before that... we have to come clean. We were sent this very cool comic book by a fan of ours, and at least I hope he's a fan.
He is now.
He is now. I mean, maybe not because we took like a month to review his comic.
It was longer than a month.
Was it longer than a month?
It was longer than a month.
Well, we are sorry. Here it is. So the comic book is called Broken Gargoyles. And the guy who sent it to us was Bob Sally. Is that what we decided on?
Or
Saley?
Saleh. Forgive us.
Forgive us if we mispronounce your name. It's one of those ones that's open to interpretation, like Walgreens.
So many people agreed with me on that. Yeah, it's one of the few times.
There's a lot of wrong people out there, Christian.
There's so many times where people don't agree with me. It felt good.
Felt good to have someone on your side.
Yeah, and it was even what was better is the people that normally like being against me.
Yeah,
were even like, nah.
You got him this time, Christian. But Broken Gargoyles is available from Source Point Press and Oxeye Media. You can go to oxeyemedia.com and order yourself a copy. I think it's open for a pre-order right now. It should be. Number 3 is issue 3 is for pre-order. So
Bob was kind enough to send us.
We got issues 1 and 2.
Yeah, and the art is amazing.
The art is amazing. I'll put some up for you guys to see on the YouTube. It's kind of a. I didn't know this was a technical term. Like I knew I knew exactly the world that this took place in, like the aesthetic. I've seen that before, but I didn't know it had a cool name. It's called diesel punk.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say steampunk, but I was like,
it's not steampunk, but it's the same idea as steampunk, but it's diesel powered instead of steam powered. So instead of like the Victorian era, this takes place in like World War I era or immediately following World War I. So it's as if the world kind of continued on and technology advanced based off of the technology of that time.
Yeah, it was great.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we won't give too much away, but basically it's about some people who have come back from that from World War I, damaged in different ways, and then they're kind of they're out to try to change the world and whatnot. But yeah, check it out. The artwork I was very, very impressed with. So super cool. Again, it's called Broken Gargoyles. Again, you can find it at oximedia.com or Source Point Press. That's a hard one to say.
Yeah, it is.
Oxeye is a lot easier. But check it out. You can also just Google it. You'll find it up there. Issue 3 coming out October 28th, just in time for Halloween. I might have to pick that up because I'll admit issue 2 left on kind of a cliffhanger, so now I'm kind of excited to find out what comes up next. But yeah, you should go check it out. Bob did an excellent job. We're sorry this took like a month and a half for us to review it, but we read it immediately.
Yeah.
We just, with the world falling apart and the PS5 debacle, it just
I'm still so mad
slipped through the cracks. But it was very, very good. Okie dokie. Now, on to the issue at hand. Raised by Wolves.
So good.
On HBO Max. And if I'll say it again, though we've said it multiple times, HBO Max is putting out some freaking bangers.
Yeah, dude.
They are killing the game.
They fucking came out hard.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because, talk about Ghost of Tsushima where it came out of nowhere. HBO Max, I thought, was just like a rebranding of their streaming thing. But now It's like, no, it's a whole new contender with Amazon and Netflix and all that stuff for making original content and having a really good selection of not original content too, But Raised by Wolves. So what is it, Christian? What's the show all about?
Man, that's a tough. Okay, so it
I needed a water break, so I needed you to.
So it's a religious group. So it's atheists and religion are going after each other. It's not Christianity. It's called Soul. Very similar.
It has some other weird name though. It's like well, continue. I'll figure out what the other name is.
So the Soul followers decided that they just needed to get rid of atheists, and they go to war. And I don't know how much we want to give away, but so.
Well, we will say there is going to be spoilers in this if you have not seen Raised by Wolves. So spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
So
it's been a while since we've had to spoil something.
Yeah, so it immediately starts off the show where an atheist ship goes off to try to find a planet where humans can continue. So there's 2 androids, mother and father, and they land and they start to try to restart humanity. And for being android parents and not needing to sleep, not needing to eat, and they could just watch kids all the time, they're very bad at watching these kids. Very, very bad. It's like,
well, I mean, I feel like they were good for several years, and then they're like, oh, now all the kids are dead.
Like one kid falls off, into a big hole.
It's a gigantic hole, Christian.
But it's like, you can't be
distracted.
Like
I feel like if they were living there that whole time, they should have put up like a handrail or something.
Something.
It's a gigantic hole in the ground.
Like, you don't need to sleep or eat. You can't get tired. You just watch them. That's your whole job. So yeah, slowly a bunch of these kids, and this happens early on. I think it's like first episode, all the kids get taken out except for one.
Yeah, I think. Oh, they're called like the Mithraic.
That's right.
That's who they are.
But they pray to Soul.
Soul is their god that they worship. Yeah, and what's cool, and so basically, these 2 androids, mother and father, came and they basically incubate these babies out of a pile of goo.
Yeah, instead of a womb, they're just in a little box.
They're just in little mason jars. Got the little SCOBY on top where they dig them out.
And I guess mother's blood also works like milk because that's what was being fed to the babies.
That's true. Yeah, it's android blood seems like an all around substance that you need to have.
And later on,
sprinkle it on salads. You know, you can disinfect your countertops with it. Make babies.
Oil, grease, grease and wheels.
You notice that. So this was produced by Ridley Scott and Scott Free Productions, which is his production company.
I was really hoping he would tie this into the Aliens universe. Well, too sure.
That's what I was going to say. Did you notice that the androids have white blood?
Yes.
Just like in Aliens. And then, I mean, yes, they fight some interesting creatures. The creatures could almost be related to like the Prometheus architects, you know?
So I'll jump in and I want your thoughts on this. So I'm going to fast forward to the last episode. I mean,
super spoilers.
Okay. So Mother gets pregnant.
Yeah, she does. Ow!
So when she gives birth, it's like a really gross looking worm,
snake, a flying worm snake.
So they decide like, all right, this thing's feeding on me. It's gonna feed on the kids after. So they decided to sacrifice themselves.
Yeah.
So they go inside the giant pit where the little girl fell, and then they come out through the other side.
Yeah.
And then this snake thing or this little worm thing turned into a giant snake thing.
Yep.
So I don't know if I'm reading this correctly, but they went back in time. I'm guessing. Because when they get there in the beginning, there's giant snake skeletons.
Bones, yep.
And then there are, like, the creatures that they're eating, that they hunt, are human-like. So I'm wondering if, like, they went back in time and they created, or somehow, I don't know, maybe she's got more kids in her body, but they make more humans. And also, eventually, in that same episode, in the last episode, she runs into a device with, it looks like a necromancer. So she's a necromancer made by the Soul people.
Yeah. Ooh, man, when she first went necromancer mode on so I guess we should mention too, so this is on a alien planet far, far away. It's called Kepler 22b or some shit like that. Yeah, 22b. I got it. Nailed it. And you know, the androids got there first several years ahead of time because they can travel faster than humans can.
Yeah, because they don't got to eat, sleep, or anything.
Yeah, or like, and they can deal with G-forces and all that shit. And then several years later, once their kids are like, I don't know how old kids are, 8, 9. Like, how old do you think Cambion is?
11, 12, maybe?
Who knows?
11, 10, 11.
Children are tough. I don't know what their ages are. But several years later, this ark full of the Mithraic people come, and it, you know, basically it's hovering, but they send down like a little landing party, and the landing party basically tries to capture Mother, but she awakens this necromancer ability inside her, which necromancers were these crazy, awesome, like war androids built by the Mithraic people.
Built by Soul, yeah.
Yeah, and then and they just like fly around like fucking like very, very Christian, Judeo-Christian like imagery there.
Then she screams and turns people into mush.
Yeah, she just screams and lets out a blast, and it just like vaporizes people. And so this kind of awakens in her while they're trying to kidnap her son, Cambion. And so she kills a bunch of these guys who were down the landing party.
And then single-handedly
goes up into their ship up in orbit and like single-handedly obliterates like everyone on there, sets it to crash into the planet, and she rescues several children.
She takes like 5. I don't know, 6 is the weird number of kids that they wanted to raise.
Yeah, exactly.
So with Cambion, they had 1, and then she took 5, and then they had 6.
5 other kids. And then crashed the Ark. But there were survivors, not very many, but there were a few. And they're kind of, the rest of the series, she's kind of dealing with them and the kids and trying to find out who she is and why she was programmed to raise these kids and stuff.
So usually I don't like shows where I don't know where things are going or there isn't a clear idea. This show was like that, but it held my attention. Like, I really didn't know, like, if it was going to be religious-based, if it was going to be heavy science-based. And it does a good mixture of both. Like, you don't really know where things are going. Because there's I don't remember the actor's name, but Ragnar from Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
So he and his wife, actually, I don't know if they were married or just ended up together. Anyway.
They were at least together before they like stole those people's faces.
So there's 2 atheists, and they're this goes back. They go back into the history. There's 2 atheists, and they know they're losing the war.
Travis Fimmel is his name.
There we go. So they know they're losing the war. They know the atheists are going to lose, and Earth is about to be destroyed. So they find that there's 2 the Mithraic folks that are going to be on the ship. They kill them, and then they take their faces.
Yeah, they have like a plastic surgery robot, like basically surgeryfy them to make them look exactly like these other people, and then get on the spaceship, and they find out that the couple that they murdered had a son.
Yeah.
And they have to be like, "Oh, hey, kid," and they're like, "Dad, why you never loved me before?"
Yeah, that's the weird thing. There's interesting twists and turns that I liked. Like, you would think that it'd be the atheists that were highly scientific and had greater technology, but it was actually the soul guys who had more. And you would think that the religious people would be loving, caring parents, and they're not. They're bad. They fucking hate their children.
Yeah, I think it is a really interesting show because it's hard to try and figure out exactly what everyone's motivations are. Like we don't know exactly where the necromancers came from. Supposedly they were killed by, or they were invented by the Mithraic people. We find out in later episodes that they basically found a blueprint left from the long past and basically built them from this blueprint. So they're building it, but they don't know exactly how it works, which is why she has all these crazy powers. Like she eventually has the power to, birth a crazy snake monster.
Which that's the thing, is what, like, in the beginning you think it was her creator who told her to do it, but it's like, okay, there's an outside force that was tricking her into doing it. That doesn't actually get answered in this season. But I'm looking forward to next season, seeing what's going on.
Yeah, also the outside force is constantly talking to the Travis Fimmel's character and driving him insane. He's also talking to his son, or his adopted son. And then we find out lastly that it was probably talking to Mother, too. So there's some force on this planet that is causing weird things to happen. She also mentions that when she finds these creatures that live on the planet, that they seem like they're de-evolving, like in Super Mario Brothers movie. Remember that?
Yeah.
The de-evolution ray. So yeah, I'm super juiced to see where the series goes next, because it's just, I don't know, it's so fucking out there. When the snake came out, I was like, what?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting
what is
that
happening?
At all. I was not expecting that at all.
I was expecting it to be something bad, like, because that seemed to be kind of like the trend in this show, is that, hey, bad things happen to these seemingly like okay robots.
Except for Mother, she has her moments where she goes fucking crazy. Like,
hey, Christian, bitches be crazy sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Like, even with androids. No,
she hella murdered Father.
Yeah, Father's one of these characters that's consistently a good character.
He is like the best dude.
He's the best.
He's like, would you like to hear a joke, Gambin?
Yeah.
2 androids walk into a bar, and then he just then Mother murders him by stabbing him on some crazy thing.
Because so to make it, I guess, to make it seem fair, it's at the point where Camien's by himself, and Father realizes, okay, he can't procreate by himself, obviously,
We can try, all right, Christian?
We can try, but... So Father decides it's probably best that we bring him to the soul group. At least that way, he can live a life, he can, he's not
be amongst his own people.
Yeah, he's not going to starve here. And Mother's like, nah. And Father's like, well, this is probably the better thing to do. And then she murders him.
And then
to be fair, she brings him back later.
But... yeah, later on she murders another robot, takes his hard drive out or whatever, and powers up Father again. He's like, you killed me, Mother. And he's like, yeah, I did, but I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Robot periods are crazy.
Yeah, I was going all necromancer. So, yeah, you bring up an interesting theory that they went back in time. Like, I think that's definitely possible.
Well, because also, like... in the beginning, it's desolate and desert, and it's like barren. But when they go through on the other side, it's lush and there's plants. And
well, they did talk about there's like a habitable, like a rainforest tropical area of the thing. So I just took it that they came out the other side.
Well, I just figured they have to bringing away why there's humanoid-like people and creatures. So I figured if they went back in time, they were the ones who set them there.
Yeah.
And then de-evolved later when they got there.
Definitely possible. Also, there's that temple thing that they went to where that big
the hot thing.
The thing that's like kind of hot and has a hole in it that you're like, should I put my dick in there?
Yeah.
I'll just put a hand in there.
What's the temperature? Oh, it burns? Oh, probably not.
Is it like a nice warm or like? That's definitely interesting. I just think that maybe they, there's got to be something going on with those freaking the holes in the ground. Like, are they just from the snakes? But they seem like they go straight down.
Yeah,
they don't just go around.
I don't know.
It's fucking weird, man. It's a weird show.
It's good, but
I can't wait to find out more about it.
And that's the thing is, like, I normally don't like when it's weird. I'm like, I don't know where you're fucking going, but this is definitely still holding my attention. Also, I think the atheist guy, / then he becomes a soul believer. I think he's gonna get powers because the other guy shoved her eye in him, which I thought it was like, he's gonna die, but it didn't.
I must have missed that.
So it's
her crazy necromancer eyes.
Yeah, so he had one of her necromancer eyes in the little pouch, and when the whole soul group decided, all right, you're fucking insane, we're not gonna follow you anymore, they beat the shit out of him, and then he takes out the eye and makes him swallow it. Which is why at the end he's walking around all crazy and seeing like he's hallucinating.
Oh, so that's what caused him to go nutso. That makes sense, I guess.
Because there was a voice, there was a part where he had a chance to kill Mother, and there was a voice that sounds like, let her live. Let her live.
It was the eyeball?
Well, or whatever it is that's, that's voicing them. Like, it's by design, whoever this outside force is controlling and making the moves. So by design, he wanted him to have that. So
yeah, see, I must have missed
that was in the last episode.
That was in the last episode where you ate the eyeball?
Yep.
I'll have to watch that. Rewatch it again. Because I remember, not Cambion, but Paul, the atheist son, he was hearing voices too. He keeps hearing soul whisper to him. And then Mother obviously is kind of being led around the planet kind of thing, and then interfaces with the pod where she like virtually has sex with her maker. That was kind of a weird.
When Father was questioning her, what had happened in there? And she was like, oh, I saw the creator.
It was an entanglement.
Yeah.
She fucking Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh, she definitely did that, but it was her wording. He's like, well, what happened? He's like, we exchanged information. I'm like, well, that's one fucking way of putting it.
Well, that's one word for it. You fucking cheating bitch. Yeah, that was really funny.
And he couldn't take it,
Yeah, he was jealous. He got the android hurt feelings.
Yeah, he's just like, I didn't know I could feel this. And I don't like it.
I don't like it, Mother.
Yeah, and so what was he gonna do? Like the fucking G character he is, I'm just gonna erase my memory.
Yeah, I'll just erase my memory so I won't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is by far like my favorite character, I think, because he's just always the best guy.
Yeah.
He's always like in it. Like he did want to murder that creature and eat it though, but
he needed to feed his kids.
That was to save the kids. So I mean, what's a dad to do?
Yeah.
But I do love Mother too. Like she is so out there and creepy. I should know. I had the actress's name up here. Who knows? It could be.
She's great.
Amanda Collin. That sounds right.
Definitely looks like a robot.
Yeah. No, like the way she acts and the way she's. Oh, this makes me feel really old. She was born in 1986.
Also, like she does a great job of you not knowing what she's gonna do next. Like,
right.
She's completely
She's one that really
like
you don't know if she's going to be reasonable or do something fucking crazy and explode you. It is a really good show, and it's kind of like a show like Lost or The Leftovers.
Didn't watch that either.
Well, you should watch those. But it's one of those ones that really keeps you guessing as to what's going on, and I'm sure once we finally figure it all out, it's going to be like so satisfying. But yeah, check it out, guys. Raised by Wolves, HBO Max. And, I'm sure that, you're probably feeling it now that we're done with that show. Probably need something else to fill the void.
Still got Lovecraft Country and The Boys.
The Boys and Lovecraft Country, both very good. What's your opinion on spoiler free this time. What's your opinion of The Boys season 2 so far?
Oh, it's great. I remember parts
fucking Black Noir. I won't say anything else, but Black Noir though.
all of it is really good. It's really, really different from the graphic novel, but I think they're making smarter moves. The only thing I'll say, not that big a spoiler, I wish the dog was there. So in the graphic novel, the dog is everywhere. Damn, I'm forgetting the main characters. One of the main characters.
Homelander?
Not Homelander.
Huey?
No, but his leader.
Billy the Butcher?
Yeah, Butcher. So Butcher has a dog, and I'm forgetting the dog's name, but he is like in every comic book, and they just kind of hinted at him, and they teased him.
Oh, the little bulldog guy.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
And he humps everything, which was a running gag. Like
That's funny. Well, I'm sure it's, first of all, hiring trained dogs are expensive, and, the best trained dogs don't always hump on command.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's fair.
So it's probably it was probably a logistics thing.
And if that's my biggest critique, which is how great the fucking show is.
It is great. The guy who plays Homelander is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
He is
plays
so
insane great.
evil, so insane. Like when I guess this might be a light no, it's not. There's a spoiler where you find out that he's like banging this guy who can shift. What's the guy's name? His name is
I don't remember his name, but
it's like Doppelganger.
So this would only be a spoiler if you haven't finished season 1, which why not? Why haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. But he's like having sex with the chick who used to be in charge of all of Vice
which is
Industries.
a weird relationship because he has like a mother type relationship, but also like bangs her type relationship. Like she used sex to control him. But then, like, at the end of the season...
There's a weird, like, mom fetish weird thing. And so, like,
even with the milk, he's like, geez, like,
yeah. It's so gross. But it's funny because, like, she dies at the end of season 1. So, spoiler if you haven't seen that last year.
She was murdered. She didn't fucking die. She was murdered by Homelander.
Yeah. He, like, lasered her brain out. And so, at one point, she shows up in season 2. And I'm like, whoa, is he crazy or did he not really kill her? I mean, he kind of melted her, so it's hard to say. But it turns out it's Doppelganger, who's this like gross nerd dude who like changes into her and he like fucks her and he's like.
And then after he shifted back, he's like, change back now. He's like, I'm sorry, it's hard to hold. And he goes back.
He goes back. Oh, so gross. And then at one point he turns into Homelander and like starts like sucking his dick. As himself.
He was like, I don't know if he actually did, but he was about it. But Homelander was actually not like...
He was kind of into it.
Yeah, he was not all that against it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll try anything once.
Yeah, twice if I like it.
Twice if I like it, but don't tell anybody. And then another good one that I think you haven't seen yet, which you should check out, is called Utopia on Amazon Prime. It's an Amazon Prime original, and it's based off of like a British show of the same name, I'm pretty sure. And here's the premise. So, see if you're interested in. It starts off with a comic book.
Okay.
Already in, right?
Ready.
The first comic book was called Dystopia.
Okay.
And it kind of came out. No one really knew where it came from, but it had this like cult following of super fanboys who just like loved it. And as the fanboys analyzed it more and more, they started finding little clues in the panels of the comic book that kind of pointed out all of these like crazy, life-altering, events on the planet. Like
that actually happened.
So
The Simpsons.
Well, yeah, kind of, but more like malicious. Like they would find like hints of like the West Nile virus, or it was a lot of viruses like the hantavirus, H1N1, bird flu. All these things are like hidden within this comic book, and then the comic book came out way before any of that stuff actually happened, and then people kind of looked back at it, fanboys looked back and they're like, oh my God, it was all right here the whole time. So then it's discovered that there is a sequel to the comic book, not Dystopia, but Utopia. And so basically this group of friends who, meet in an online chat room, fan forum for the first book, they decide that they're going to try to get it and try to stop the stuff before it happens. But then they get pulled into like this crazy conspiracy thing, and it's really good. I really
comic books and conspiracies. I'm in.
Yeah, like you should. Even the first 2 episodes, some shit happens where I'm like, what the fuck? It is.
I'm down.
Nuts, man. And then by the end of it, you're just like, God, what is going to happen next? Because also, John Cusack's in it.
Oh, nice.
Gotta love John Cusack. Rainn Wilson's
Oh,
in it
really?
too. Dwight Schrute.
Okay.
Yep, he's in it too. And I think those are the only real main people in it. Like I recognize a couple people from like smaller roles here and there, but man, it is a good show. I burned through it in like 2 days because it was just like it's one of those things I just couldn't. Like one episode after another, I'm like, give me more.
Amazon,
What's
right?
got to happen? Amazon Prime.
Okay. All right.
So check it out. I'd say, let us know what's your favorite, new shows, maybe like some, unheard, uncovered little gems floating around in the streamiverse, because we are dying for content. If you haven't seen it, Lovecraft Country, we mentioned briefly, definitely watch that. Jamie Chung gets really naked in it. It's pretty cool. A whole lot naked. But it's also just a really good show.
Yeah. I mean, so good.
There's just a little bonus stuff here and there.
It's so good. I've read
the chick from not Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Birds of Prey is in it. The chick who played Black Canary, White Canary. She's Black Canary.
Black Canary.
She's definitely black.
No, but that's an amazing show. It's as someone who read the book, you can read the book, watch the show. They are different, but in this last episode, they did a great little tie-in.
Little Stephen King-esque.
Yes.
Tie-in.
If like the makers of this show, if they were to be given the license, that was exactly what I was thinking when they did that twist.
Yep.
Thank you for bringing it up. Like, if they gave these guys the Stephen King universe, it could be done amazingly. It could all be tied in, but they did a cool little tie-in. For those who read the book or are reading the book, you'll catch it on this last episode.
And what's cool is, I have hope for like a Stephen King-averse thing because
in our lifetime, I hope.
Yeah, because he's been on fire lately. Like his last several movies have been very good. Outsider, also on HBO, was very good.
Yeah.
It Chapter 1s and 2s were both really good.
I don't think Doctor Sleep got enough love.
Doctor Sleep was fucking amazing.
It was, but I don't think it got the love that it deserved.
It didn't get the love that it deserved because people were like, Doctor Sleep, it had a bad, like, here's what I'll say about Doctor Sleep. And I hate saying this because I loved both the book and the movie. The title was like, it was not referential enough to The Shining. And if people had known that it was a sequel to The Shining, or it had been, like really marketed a little bit better, I think it would have done much better.
Maybe. I hope that it's one of those films that just was beyond its time. Like, it gets loved
a
whole lot later.
It's very well received amongst fans.
Yeah.
So it's already gotten a little bit of that. But man, Ewan McGregor was great in that. And the chick who played, Rose the Hat?
Yeah.
She was awesome. The little girl was great.
What I was reading is that she, that one scene, well, it's one scene, I'm not going to fuck up the whole movie for you. When they murder the little boy for the steam.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently that scene really fucked her up, like psychologically. Yeah. Like she was talking about how, like, she hated doing it. The director was pushing her, like, to
it was really crazy. They actually murdered that kid.
Well, and
I mean,
they went,
do it get the performance you want however you can. But man, really committed to that role.
It was one of those when I read it in the book, it's like typical Stephen King, and it was like
it was so rough.
Yeah, it was rough to read, and I'm like, they're definitely not going to go far in the movie, and I'm like, holy shit. Well, they didn't go as far as the book, but I mean, there were some implications of what they were doing. I was like, holy shit, I didn't think they were going to go that far in the movie.
Yeah, it was, man, Doctor Sleep, so good. If you haven't seen that one, watch that one immediately. It's on HBO Max, I believe.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
It's
on one of the streaming ones.
I'm going to buy it just because
I spend my life on streaming services now. Like, I can't go anywhere, so I just stream things and shovel food into my mouth.
Nice.
That's basically all I do. Alrighty, Christian. Well, that just about does it for us today. Make sure you guys check out nerdswithfriendspodcast.com for all of our info as far as Netflix. I mean, not Netflix. YouTube.
Soon Netflix.
Netflix is next. We're coming for you, Netflix. We got some ideas to pitch. But
do we have one more ad? I think we're supposed to put an ad.
No, we don't have to put an ad. It just comes at the end, Christian.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So, hey, if you want to hear another ad, just wait till after the song, and you guys will get to listen to it. I'll put something wacky.
I'm new to Age of Radio. We're figuring this shit out as we go.
Don't worry, Christian. Cody knows how things work. But thank you guys for listening. Make sure to check out, like I said, nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. It's where you find all of our info: YouTube, Instagram, Facebookins, Twitters, anything else really that, like Stitcher, Spotify. It's all on there.
It's all there.
It's all on there. Ooh, I got to update it for Age of Radio, though, so good reminder. But thanks, Christian, for holding it down and bringing this stupid fucking...
The people love the Gremlin.
Gremlin. I hate it, but...
The people love it.
Whatever. To all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. This is Nerds with Friends. Thank you, and good night.